This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, and watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
They're forcing us in.
The way the Europeans hate us now. I talked to some people today when I was getting my global. It says they go over the Europeans hate us.
I think that's a lie. I think it's just like here.
Well, no, I'm talking to people that were there, that go there to visit. So it's nothing from YouTube. It's directly from people, because we're about to go through some stuff here. Because there's a probability Trump tomorrow will say, okay, we're pulling out of NATO and everything else.
We should be in NATO anyway.
What's that?
I said we shouldn't be in NATO anyways.
No, NATO's kind of had turned from being a protector from the former Soviet Union to now enabling globalists. NATO's trying to become a world government and run everything. So we just upset the cookie cart when we elected President Trump. We did. That bullet is only by, it was Yahuwah that saved him, because he anointed him. Remember I was telling you about the right ear and the blood, and how Moses went ahead and anointed Aaron's sons on the right ear with the blood?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to get a little rough, but Zelensky needs to be dealt with. He is the catalyst to World War III, because his arrogance, his non-care of life. Because I was watching some European channel just for a minute, and they were trying to say that Lazinski, or however you say his name, Zinsky or whatever, that he doesn't have all these high-dollar mansions in this. The man gets a salary of $11 million a month. He has 15 mansions. And just like you mentioned, he's also has a citizenship in Florida.
No, he has a mansion in Florida.
Yeah, but is he a citizen of Florida?
I don't think he's a dual citizen of America. I haven't looked at that. The ones I said that there were, that I know of like Schumer and all that, are dual citizens of here and of what is that? Israel.
Yeah. Well, anyways, turns out Schumer and the Democrats 3 hours before President Trump had met with Lazinski. I'm probably saying his name totally wrong. We had to pull it up so I don't quit butchering his name. But anyways, they actually were the ones that set off a problem, trying to tell him to do this and that. Now, turns out about 3 days prior to him coming to DC, you know what he did? He signed the mineral agreement with the UK for 100 years. And yet he was coming over trying to pull a fast one on President Trump.
There's also, I heard, a secret meeting happening. That's not confirmed yet, but a secret meeting before with the Democrats and rhinos before he met with Trump.
That's what I was just talking about, Schumer and those guys. Yeah. So we got to these people have to go away, because they don't want to give up control. They want to do whatever it takes to bring our country down, to bring us down, to keep us enslaved. Why would fuel go down over a course of a week and then overnight jump up that much? Seriously.
There was a holiday. You didn't know that?
Oh, yeah, that's right. One of their wells broke down, so they can't produce enough. It's a pretty sad state of affairs right now with everything.
It is. It's actually even more sad that everybody's going, go to day like nothing's happening. That's the sad part.
Oh, I know. If they realized what was really going on behind the scenes, or if they even cared, that because the people I talked to when I was getting my global, they were pretty hardcore liberal.
Especially where you are, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is down at DIA where I had to go. But however, they're treating Americans bad overseas. She was telling me her daughter was, she travels a lot. So when she landed, I believe it's the UK. And when she landed there, they grouped up all the Americans together and made them wait last.
Oh, you mean kind of like we're not going to fill your submarine up?
Yeah. Well, now Norway's the government of Norway is saying that wasn't them. That was a company. So they're kind of, and then, but Trump did suspend any more delivery of any more equipment to Ukraine.
It should have happened a little bit ago, but
Yeah,
I don't.
you should have did that right off the bat. Go ahead.
No, I don't know if Trump just got power, because remember I heard in March is when the power actually got handed over. Yeah, he got the seat then, but in the past days, the past presidents were sitting on their butts and going to parties the entire time and then started doing work about now.
Right. Trump has already done more in the first 30 days than any president's done over their entire 4-year span. Seriously. And this thing with Social Security's out of control, because it turns out now, when I was listening, I think it was Elon on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
The fraud is so bad that all these illegals are now getting the Social Security of the 20-some million plus dead people. That's how dirty, rotten the Democrats are. They really need to go to jail. And then AOC's freaking out. She sent a letter to the DOJ. Oh, am I under investigation for helping illegal aliens to circumnavigate ICE and being deported? They because I was just teaching about their rights. Well, I'm sorry, they don't have constitutional rights, AOC. And she just basically incriminated herself with a letter and a video. These people are really dumb. You can't admit a crime, you don't talk about it.
I know. And you don't record it.
No, you just kind of like slide back out of the scene, don't say a word, and stay undercover and try not to be noticed.
Bingo.
Yeah, but with the Democrats and the rhinos meeting with them before the, Zelensky before the meeting, and Zelensky signing mineral rights basically with the European Union through the UK for 100 years, and then comes over here and tries to steal from us. Again, who in gets a salary of $11 million a month when his guys are out dying?
Oh, yeah.
And cities destroyed. I think Trump's about ready just to pull out of everything, everything.
But
the
unfortunately,
rest of the world to go and stick it up there, you know where.
yeah. But like I said, unfortunately, I think they're trying to push World War II. That's the other way they're trying to do it, is that way. And then
Oh, three, yeah.
or three. I meant we're trying to we'll go after Zelensky and you know, all this other crap, and all this is gonna happen, and they'll get it, and then America's gonna have to come in. No, we won't. Screw you.
No.
We're so tired of you guys' bullshit.
Well, yeah, and the European Union, their army sucks. They really don't have a good land-based army. Their equipment is small in numbers. Their navies are small because they're relying on us to take care of everything.
Yeah, we've always been the patsy.
Yeah, so the Ukrainians, however they can do it, they need to get rid of Zelensky. So their people can stop dying. They can start rebuilding their country.
Yeah.
Serious.
It's actually worse than you think, Steve. Of look at this volunteer recruit.
Oh, life is bigger. It's bigger than you. You are not me. The links that I will go to, the distance.
No, sorry, I'm gonna have to redo it because
Oh,
your screen was in white.
life is bigger. It's bigger than you. You are not me. The links that I will go to, the distance in your eyes. Oh no, I've said too much. I set it up. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. Oh.
Yeah. They're grabbing people like that now, Steve.
They don't have enough guys left, man. So
And then, here's what
That
they did
doesn't-
with drones. Oh, I mean, there's one I was gonna show a pilot stop another pilot, Steve.
Дорога по туннелю к Бахмутскому туннелю.
They're doing this for drones now. Russia. So their convoys don't get hit by drone.
wow.
There's a pilot literally doing exactly what whatchamacallit did. Right here. What Top Gun did.
Your idea of fun, man.
The top one.
Yeah.
He's flipping them off. The Russian right here.
Your idea of fun, man. Greetings.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, go ahead, Steve. Well, while you were talking about the Ukrainian war, now he's right. Trump was right. You guys won't last a week. And Zelensky's, her 3 days, 3 days. That's because
Yeah.
Russia has not even started beginning to fight, first of all. And second of all, they did the netting over. What I mean by begin to fight is they haven't used their entire force on them. If they
No.
did, Ukraine would be back to Russia again, where it originally came from. Go ahead.
Right. And it's going to end up back there again because I think Trump and our government, us the people, we don't give a crap anymore. And I'm sure the Ukrainian people would rather be back under Russia.
You know what I wish Trump would have done on that meeting on Friday? Do you
What's
remember
that?
where Zelensky was sharing pictures to him and going, here's kids. Here's kids. We're not going to show you the kids. Trump should have went down and go, all right, here's the germ labs, the bio labs.
Yeah,
Right.
31 plus of them. Yep, right on the border.
That's why the war was started.
Yep.
That's what I would have done. I mean, but that's just me. I don't know if that's presidential, but actually that would have been the best comeback in my opinion of
Well, yeah,
This is
and
why I
you know
started.
something? I can't think of a time that I have ever despised such a world leader. I despise this guy.
Yep.
As an American, I despise him.
Yep.
And I think a lot of other Americans do too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not just the money begging, Steve. It's also the other stuff. besides him being cocky, you got the gay stuff with it, you know. I showed you the other day of some of it and it was pretty bad. I mean, like this right here.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. I never forget. I can't forget that. Normal guys don't move like that. I'm sorry.
No,
You're designed to move like that.
that's not normal. None of this is normal. But
It's
yeah,
not
it's
funny.
no, that's not.
What's funny about that?
It's actually sad. And I didn't know he was a comedian. Someone was M. Bongino was talking about him being a comedian. I was like, no, I didn't know he was a comedian. I thought he was an actor, actor and something else before this. I forgot what it
Yeah.
was.
I knew he was a failed comedian. Is what he is.
So you fail your way up to he started off at 300 million when he started off in started off in the as a president and became a dictator, because dictators do not have votes, or do not let people vote people in. They cancel voting, which he did. And then he's worth half a billion now. So why doesn't he get his own money and deposit his own money into his shit? If he
How can somebody be worth that much in a country that's decimated?
Yeah.
It's off our money, off our backs. Schumer and the Democrats and the rhinos have allowed this man to steal our taxpayer money. The finance a war for the industrial military complex.
And the majority of America doesn't want that war.
No. And in fact, I keep saying this. We need to go back and find the one where, was it Biden or Lindsey Graham saying that this money comes back into the U.S., into our economy?
Yeah, I didn't hear
One
that.
of them said it, a while ago.
Well, a lot of them were cocky way back then because they thought that they won.
Yeah.
You're right. They might have. Remember when I told you about what's her name? Nancy Pelosi? She said this is what a wrap-up smear. I gotta remember to say that right.
Oh,
mixed it up with
the
something else.
smear campaign, wrap-up smear campaign. Yeah.
I have to
Well,
do-
it looks like it's backfired on them, and now it's smearing them because their approval rating right now is so low because people are going, why don't you want to clean up the fraud, waste, and abuse in our system?
If you heard him today, if you heard Schumer today, it would have made your stomach crawl. Because this guy's like, well, these guys are going in and taking all the money from the disabled people. The person is one of those. I'm not going to say it because our words are powerful. And you Satanist Democrats, you know exactly why.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying it, but I'm not afraid of money that's coming in, supplementing and helping me out is not going to get canceled from Trump at all. And I'm not worried about it.
No, he promised he's not going to cancel any of that. And if anything, once this money situation has been corrected, actually Medicare prices are going to go way down because 2.7 trillion in Medicare is fraud, waste, and abuse.
Oh, I remember hospitals too, Steve. Gloves, $800, or a test.
Oh yeah, that's in the Pentagon. That's to run a lot of dark projects, and the secret space program, known as Solar Warden.
Area 51 gets its money that way because
Yeah, and so do the other areas that are like Area 51.
But like I was saying, in order to get its money, it doesn't have to say to the government program, "Hey, here's my ID." Remember how they did that? They said this is what this goes for, this is what that goes for. So if they do the black project, then it can go to whatever they want it to.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clarify because I didn't know a lot of people are not like us, Steve. Because when I talked to the lady with the cat, she was like, "Are we star seeds or anything?" I was like, "No, that does not line up at all with the Bible or Torah."
No.
So
The Bible, it doesn't. Not
That's
one
why-
bit, even in the Apocrypha, none of that lines up correctly. We were created in his image and his likeness, period.
That's why I added the extra on there, Steve, instead of just saying it lightly, because some people might not know what we're talking about.
Right. Well, all this new age stuff. I mean, like meditation, I like to meditate, but it's only to listen, to kind of still myself. And I think a lot of times when we meditate, you can't stop your mind, from thinking and this and that. So what you do is you listen. We need to listen for Yahuwah. We
Just-
really do. Our thoughts are so jammed up when he comes through, we don't even recognize it or see it because we're not
No.
looking.
And
And all this stuff that's just going on right now, and all this weird stuff, and and 1875, they completely removed the Apocrypha from the Word. Then they altered Acts chapter 10. I think Matthew 17, verse 22, they removed. Tells you how to get rid of demons, and if they don't go, verse 22 tells you why. Yeah. So there's so much stuff. We have so much to study, so much to learn. And we have to be retaught. We almost have to come out of the seminary taught ways of thinking. And we have to broaden our mind and think, okay, and then pray to have stuff brought to you and to understand. I mean, you still can find salvation in the 66 canon, and that being our current Bible before they removed the Apocryphas. But remember, though, now the thing is his name. Remember when we were leaving Exodus? I found this the other day. Here, let me see if I can't read it. If I can pull it up. This is there's some other, this is in Exodus 23:23. Behold, I am going to send an angel before you to keep you. And then along the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Keep watch of yourself before him and listen to him. And then let me move to the next verse here. I gotta go. Okay. So you don't want to be rebellious toward him, for he will not pardon your transgressions, since my name is in him. But if you truly listen to his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy to your enemies. That is the angel of the Lord that was the pillar of fire, and God's name was in him. Therefore, that's part of the Trinity. That's Yeshua before he became flesh. Remember what I was talking about? That it's not like he's mean, but he has a sternness to him. That's why when I hear all these near-death experiences, they're almost like unbiblical. Because of that, once you think about that, although he has compassion and love, but when he returns, he will be that general seeking justice and vengeance on all those that refuse to follow, the way. The way. Sounds like Star Wars. I mean, yeah, the way. We are doing the way.
This does go underneath the category of lukewarm, I'll spit you out. People don't understand that actually is meaningful. It has nothing to do with the, I went to church. Look at that. I went to church. No, you're a pew warmer. You didn't, because when you go to church, you don't take it with you. A lot of people use it as justification. Oh, right. I went to church so I could be addicted to this guy. I went to church so I could cut this person off. I went to church so I didn't, I don't have to open the door for this person. Instead of, wait a sec, you have to, well, I'm not telling you wait a second. I'm just saying like the people that wait a second of, start paying attention to some of this and try to live your life more biblically as you can. It's really
Right.
difficult to try to live, and don't try to pick one. I only want to do the New Testament or the Old. No. God did not say, oh, well, you did not say, oh, no, only do this part and not this part of it. No, it's the whole thing.
Well, yeah, it is. In the Torah, the first 5 books of the Old Testament are the Torah. And that's what we need. And then the rest of it. And then the New Testament. And then we have the Apocrypha, that the Protestant movement removed it in 1875. And then they said, oh, it's not scripture, it's fantasy. Well, the Apocrypha books, except for a couple, they are witnessed. Then, in other words, they've been proven to be scripture. They tie into scripture. In fact, Yeshua referred to it. The book of Jude, chapter 13, verses 14 and 15 are direct quotes from the book of Enoch. And when the Sadducees and the Pharisees came to Yeshua and said, I'll paraphrase this, well, what if a woman, a man marries a woman and he dies, then his brothers all marry that woman and they die. When they come into heaven, who are they married to? And Yeshua looked at them. You know not the scriptures. You know why? Because Jesus said that we are like angels. We are not given in marriage. Only place you're going to find that is in the book of Enoch, which these self-righteous, pompous asswipes took out. And it answers where demons come from. It talks about where you go when you die. We don't go to heaven. You might get a tour of it, but you don't stay there. Either you go to the first chamber, which is paradise, a place of rest and refuge, or you go to the second chamber with the rich man, and you're very uncomfortable. Or if you were killed in the name of Yeshua, then you go to the third chamber for the martyrs. Simple. And in the book of Enoch, it tells you that Enoch and Elijah are not in heaven. They reside in the Garden of Eden, which is also a chamber inside the earth. It's never destroyed. It's still there. It is still there. Believe me, I know. But anyways.
Well, this also is the part where or not part, but somewhere in the chapters they removed where if you fast, it will start killing parasites and other things like that inside your body.
Right. See, and then when Yeshua talks about fasting, he says, when you fast, not that, are you going to fast? No, we all need to fast. We really do. Because when you fast, you know what it does? It not only purifies your body, because then your body starts going through and it starts cleaning out the parasites. It starts getting rid of all the weird cells. There's been people that have had stage 4 cancer that did a hard fast for quite a while and the cancer was killed. Cancer cells are weak, so they get killed. But the pharmaceuticals don't want you to know about that either. And if you bring this up to the doctors, they're going to look at you like you're a nutbag.
And tell you if you don't eat within 3 days, you're going to die.
Right. Because see, the cancer cells consume a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you fast, guess what? Since they're useless cells, the body goes and says, whoa, what are you? Bam, you're gone.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be eating like we were eating, man. We're not.
No,
like we said the
actually,
other day.
we eat way too much. We really eat way too much. My normal day, I'll share it with you. I'll get up in the morning, have about 3 cups of coffee, and I might eat around, on an average, sometimes I eat like 1 o'clock, but mostly it'll be late after, like 5, 4, 5, 6. And without eating all day, I go to the gym. And you know what? I still have plenty of energy at the gym. So what does that tell you? We have to condition ourselves. We really do. Because the body, we're eating way too much. Plus we're eating all that crap, but that's going to get fixed too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it because I've been around some people where they have to eat breakfast right away. We're waking up at 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, they were like, "Ooh, I'm hungry. I gotta be eating something." And then here it is, not even 10 o'clock. They're already snacking on something else.
Yeah.
I have to eat a lunch. You don't have to. Oh, I'm gonna starve to death. Huh? No, you're not. And you're right. You condition yourself, but you have to actually start really eating real food. What I mean by that is the longer the shelf life, the shorter your life. To a certain extent, there are some ways you can to get it to go that long, but I'm saying without canning, actually a lot of canning doesn't provide preservatives or need preservatives.
No, it doesn't. In fact, how is it they used to take raw meat and it didn't go bad? How is it?
Took the oxygen right out of it by boiling it.
Yeah,
We lost the
Fish.
old ways.
they would dry fish. Oh yeah, I have that book called The Old Ways.
Yeah.
And if I get my computer running, I'll send you the file to it. It's on my old computer.
Yeah. But no, you're right. This hanging
But-
fish, hanging
Yeah.
whale.
Yeah.
It happens today. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, all this is that we all need to study for ourselves. We all need to dissect the scripture for ourselves. We all need to look at the Apocryphas. Look at them for yourself. And I mean, there's some like a Parable of the Vineyard. You have the God Culture. Look at those guys. I mean, you can follow them. There's called John Truth. He's pushing the edges, but I haven't seen anything unbiblical from him yet.
Well, Troy Smith is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, Troy Smith. Yep, really is. And then I just found another guy here. It's what is it called? But what is his name? Well, we'll have to find this, and I think we'll need to take and add this. This guy's running like 100,000 subscribers, so he's not a small time guy by any means. But he dissects. It's like kind of going in. We're challenging the status quo, like the Talmud that the Jewish people use. That's an interpretation, and that's man's tradition written in there. I don't mean to offend anybody, but that's what that is. Stick to the Torah itself, not to what the opinions and this and that. You can read about opinions, but if it violates the Torah, I mean, they're taught that on the Sabbath, if a hungry man comes to your door, you're not allowed to feed him because you'll be in violation of the Sabbath.
That reminds me of someone else I know, but go ahead.
Yeah, that is just wrong. So, like Yeshua said, you realize they traveled on the Sabbath. And as they were going by fields, that they would take some of the food.
That's theft.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
No, it's like everybody, you better not cook a meal. You better not cook yourself anything on the Sabbath. See, this is man making it impossible for other men and women to follow the Torah. It's not a burdensome law.
I'll cut it in.
Everybody, we all need to study for ourselves. 2 Thessalonians, show thyself approved. And that comes by studying. You really do. Everything you hear, everything you learn, look for it for yourself and challenge it. But remember, when you go to the scriptures, Don't go with arrogance. Go before the scriptures as Yahuwah, the Most High. Teach me your ways. Show me your knowledge. Not the ways of men, but your knowledge through your word. And that's what we have to do. We really, really do. I mean, I've been distracted this last pretty much a year now, but I'm definitely pulling back out of it again. But it's easy to get distracted within our realm, so to say. And it's easy for us to forget that our lives are but a vapor. You know, but a vapor.
I mean, since they started trying to destroy America within the last 3 years, hardcore, because we talked about this, where our fuel is retarded levels, and you go over to other countries and it hasn't changed whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they're using the excuse here in this country that, oh, it's Corona is the reason why it's all back up there, and they're lying to us. It's almost like right now. I heard that Trump closed a bunch of and took out our funding from WHO again, and
Yeah.
they're
We're actually
threatening.
removed from the World Health Organization. We're out.
They're threatening that, oh, this will start another pandemic, which they're threatening as we're going to cause another
Right.
pandemic.
How do they know we're going to have another pandemic? Unless they're planning it. And you know what? It's coming out of Wuhan again. All the same bad actors, same scenario.
By the way, while we're on that subject, Steve, it's not Wuhan, China. It's
Oh.
Wuhan, Ukraine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 31 plus biolabs, you know, financed by Gain of
Us.
Function. Yours truly, Dr. Fauci, the rat head. I'm sorry. I don't respect the man. He's a killer. He's a murderer. Flat out.
He's also
Killed all these people.
what are those that abuse dog or abuse animals?
Well, that's what he did too, the 5,000 beagles. And what he did was really disgusting.
They found where the money came from, by the way. And they even called it out. They said with the animal cruelty and all this other stuff, and they said Dr. Fauci right on Congress. And you know,
Yeah.
they don't let you mess around, because I think you and I get kicked out. Some of us would be laughing or we'd be going BS, you know, to like Chuck Schumer when they're starting to say stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I would. I'd get kicked out.
But that's
I
because
would. I wish
Yeah.
at the time we can open up a pit to hell and throw him right in and some other ones in there. But that judgment's not ours. Sorry, I don't mean to go off the rails.
Vengeance
It only
is
belongs
mine.
to Yeshua. We are not a righteous judge.
Vengeance
Where
is mine,
our
so-
judgment can be clouded.
Definitely, yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah. The vengeance is mine, so saith the Lord. It's not ours. And a lot of people want vengeance. Justice is different than vengeance.
I want justice. I want justice where it happened to my family. I want justice where it happened to other people's family. It's time. You know, it's happening, and it's probably happening pretty fast. And you remember when I told you the strong thoughts I was given when we were at DC? You know, all that's coming to fruition. Every bit of it. Just like he had to take over and has anointed people in certain places. Because the wickedness is that bad. But everybody needs to fast. All of us, we need to fast and we need to pray. And we need to pray to Yahuwah, petition the heavens to remove any evilness from our land.
Yeah, it's the only way to heal it. Turn from our wicked ways.
Yeah. And I think we start fasting, honestly, and we cut off social media. I mean, I am so tired of going out in public and everybody's on their phone. It's pretty sad, really. Like when I go to the gym, I put the phone in the locker.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, oh man, I can't tell you how many times, and I've told my dad this and mom. I go, you could rob people I even said that to my mom. I go, you know what? If I go really quietly and don't really get out of don't get in your peripheral vision, I could probably rob this entire freaking house and not let you notice it whatsoever. Some people
Yeah.
are so zoned in, and then I noticed too, Steve. Like I was just at a plant place because we're getting around that time of year where all the plants start getting out, and they don't sell seeds for everything. So I'd like to go out and go get plants. Now that I know how to take care of them and keep them alive, I don't need to do this again next year. But anyways, she's telling me, all right, this is how you take care of the bugs. This is how you this is also how you keep deer away from your fruit trees. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking on my phone, typing out like what she's mentioning, and she stops talking when I start typing. I go, no, keep going. I could do two things at one time. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not that way. I'm not special than anybody. It's
But
just
you're not
train
like
yourself.
looking at your social media, you're taking notes.
Yeah. Oh no, there's a lot of times I look at my social media. Actually, I disagree with you on the social media. But well, no. There's some people that overdo it. But like when I'm waiting on my mom to go pee constantly, or we're waiting on gas or something like that, then yeah, I try to kill time by educate myself with news, whether it's the hockey games or whatever's going on, because it seems like Facebook turned into the number one thing. If I go to like True Social, I don't get to hear much. If I go to
Yeah.
Instagram,
Well-
or not, sorry, not, if I go to X, I could go there, but I like to download things because so I could say, "Hey, Steve, look at this video," or "Hey, Steve, watch this," or
I don't have time in the day to do that stuff.
you will.
Myself in time. But I like to, so what I do is I'll listen to scripture during the day. I'll listen to some of these guys talking, their viewpoints, reading scripture, trying to really get in there and understand it. But also too, I like the Stoic philosophy from the Romans, like Marcus Aurelius, those kind of guys. Because what they have to say, there are wise men, and they're not saying anything unbiblical, a lot of the stuff that they're talking about. And I think the biggest thing is that a lot of us that get used, we need to start taking care of ourselves. We really do. Because we can't help anybody if we don't take care of ourselves. And we need to be on the watch for narcissists, absolute predators. And you almost need to draw back and not be controlled by society, but find a foundation within Yahuwah's word and base your life off of that. And I'm hoping that I find a congregation that follows the Sabbath, the feast days, and all those other things that we're supposed to be adhering to. And yes, Jesus said, I come to fulfill the law, not to destroy it. The only thing that he said we no longer follow there's no longer any sacrifices. Therefore, there's no physical temple, and there's no there's no high priest to do it. He is the high priest. He is the sacrifice, and our bodies are the temple. So when you see in scripture where it says, once that is coming, that was once in part, will be done away with once that becomes whole. And that's what that is. The sacrifice were done in parts. Now it's completed. And I need to load the blue Bible I keep, or whatever that is. There's a gate Bible, and so we can actually go to this stuff. But nowhere in there does it say not to follow the Sabbath anymore. Nowhere does it say not to follow the feast days, because the scripture says we follow those until the end. Nowhere does it say to stop doing that stuff. And I don't know where the seminaries have come in and decided, oh, we don't follow the Old Testament anymore. Well, they hinged Sunday off one day, and on the first day of the week, they came together, broke bread, and gave thanks. Well, honestly, anytime they came together, they broke bread. But we're told to follow the Sabbath. That's the day of rest. It was made for us through Yeshua when everything was created. Remember, all things were created through him. That same pillar of fire that led the Israelites out of Egypt is that same angel of the Lord referred to as with God's name in him. That's why the name is so important. We have to continuously seek his correct name, which we think we're on the right path. Yahuwah goes all the way back into Palini Hebrew. There's no va and there's no wa in ancient Hebrew. Now the stuff I'm starting to learn really technically is considered, it runs off the Nakud valve system from probably about 600 years or so ago or whatever. And they did that saying they tried to preserve the name, the correct pronunciation of the words. They did a vowel system. Well, there's no va in modern Hebrew, and there's no va in real ancient Hebrew. It would be wa, and then after that it's like a ah sound. So when they say Yahweh, that's not correct. When they say Yehovah, the va is really not correct. When they say Jehovah, that is not correct. There's no J, there's no V, and there's no W. So that reason why I'm harping on the name, when the pillar of fire, the angel of the Lord, his name is in him, his name is also in us. Because our bodies are the temple and the spirit resides within us. His name resides in us and is written on our foreheads and is written on our hand.
It's written in our DNA. That's why they try to give us the shots with the mRNA. But also,
Yep.
while you're on that
Yeah,
subject,
they did. Good.
If anybody wants to know what Sodom and Gomorrah times would be like, Gomorrah is taking over America, but we're taking it back now because it's like what you're talking about with this is the way people are acting. I'm too busy. You know, they made our work week so busy and everything so chaotic and compact where everybody's broke and no one can take that one day off. Because I started thinking about this for 1 second. I was like, wait, I remember back when I did the 9 to 5 stuff before I got injured. And the weekend, it was like, man, you only had just a little bit of that Saturday, a little bit of that Sunday, and then it was bam, back to work again. So then when people are, I want to take that one day off to, thank God that they've been convinced that does not exist. Satan is starting to win in that aspect a little bit. It's starting to come back the other way, but
it's still extremely prevalent because it is written that few will find the way. Remember, a lot will come to him and say, "Depart from me, worker of iniquity, I knew you not." And actually, iniquity means lawless ones. They don't follow the Torah. And we're trying to. All of us are reseeking the Torah and trying to follow in the ancient pathways. Because in Jeremiah 6:16, it says, I wrote this down because it walk in the ancient paths where the good way is. So we need to go back to the ancient ways, because there was one of those near-death experiences that I watched. He was a Protestant, teacher, so to speak, kept getting more and more liberal, but he was told to go back to the ancient ways. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're not bringing back the sacrifices because Yeshua told us not to. We're not bringing back the temple because we don't need the sacrifices. The Holy of Holies is already open to us through Yeshua. It's already opened. He is our high priest. And because of him, we can walk in the garden, so to speak, with Yahuwah and worship him speak with him as our Father. See, the main thing is, you know why we were created? God wanted his own kind to be with, because the angels are all great, but there are different kinds of creatures that are created. So he created us to be like him. So that way we can fellowship with each other. That's the main, you think about it. That's why. And what have we done?
Killed each other, started wars, basically used his name in vain because people are using it like it's going out of style a lot. When you hear
Right.
him talking, is Jesus this, or GD
Yeah.
that, or all this other crap, and it's like, really, just knock it off. I don't want to hear your crap. If you don't believe in him, why do you keep using it? And
Right.
then not to mention, like I said to you a couple of days ago, of that oh, my cuppeth runneth over is being used, or good news on the Grand Tour. And it's like, why are you guys using so many biblical references if it doesn't exist?
Yeah. Why is it that believers, I don't like using the word Christianity, because we'll get it on here eventually, but Constantine did a creed. And that's where the name Christianity came from, before we were believers. That's it. But we'll get the creed up here and we'll read it, maybe in a couple of shows. And then you can see where it came from. And I would suggest too, we all go back to the 10 Commandments. We're supposed to be there, because he does then with the 10 Commandments still in force, how is it then that we keep holy on the Sabbath day if we're not doing what we're supposed to do the day of the Sabbath? And be careful of those who are out there teaching you they use the moon to determine what day the Sabbath is on. Remember, the moon is 8 days short a year. So that means the Sabbath will be moving through the week all year long. And that's not the way that works. The sun, the book of Tobit, Jubilees, which is another book that was removed in the Apocrypha, tells you to follow the sun for the calendar. It's in God's year is 364 days, which comes out evenly. There's a lot in there. But I believe, because we are seeking him, we're seeking his ways, that President Trump, I can't say how spiritual he is. I have no idea. I really have no idea. But I can tell that he has a demeanor of fairness and righteousness to him. I really believe that. I believe that he is a fair and honest person. He's still a person, so we can't put him as deity, but we can look at him as like David.
You're back.
Yeah.
like-
for how long here?
I know. Like you said with David, Steve.
Yeah.
I thought about this last night, or a couple nights ago too. It's the equivalent of Moses. We don't worship Moses, but we go with the 10 Commandments. We
Right.
live life with it. We don't worship him. This whole thing is this demonic crap of trying to, you worship Trump. No, we don't. I don't bow down to the man.
We don't worship him.
No.
We definitely respect him, and we pray for him, because we look at him like the Israelites looked at David. They knew that David was not a god. He was just a good king. And he did have his faults also. He did have some, he had some womanizing problems that which of us guys sometimes didn't in our past.
Or if you're a billionaire or millionaire, who wouldn't?
Imagine being a young guy and being a millionaire and a billionaire.
Like,
He's
yeah.
He's the way he is. He was raised right by his parents.
You're right. And then Dan Bongino said that his some of his brothers and sisters or someone in his family had drug problems and stuff like that and died, and that's why he's not into the alcohol or drugs whatsoever. It's not because of what we're told. And also I think he was groomed too, because I heard that in a good way, like Kennedy warned him, or not Kennedy, Nixon groomed him to the position to what's coming up now. And then also who's the other one? Reagan also gave him some pointers of how the deep state was going to come at him, because 107 was saying this stuff.
Yeah.
That's how Trump got where he was, because remember how you said, like God saying, where's my millionaire and billionaires? We got Trump, and then we got Elon. Where's the rest of them? There's so many.
Well, we do have other billionaires stepping up to the plate in a quiet way.
Oh, now you do, yes.
Yeah, now you do. All it took is for two of them to come out of the woodwork.
I think Trump to come back into power too. You know what I mean? Because some of these guys are patriotic, but some of them, they don't know where to go. Or you know what I mean? Where to, or not nowhere. There's probably something behind the scenes that they were all agreed to that we don't know about.
Right.
That we're not privy to, because we're not, we're not there. I don't know how to really put that right, but yeah. But also, to be honest, they have a lot of power in their hands.
They do, but you have to look at this. Elon and President Trump paid back his parents for however millions the loan was, okay? But he still built his company. So what, he went bankrupt a few times. That had to do with some other stuff behind the scenes too.
Corruption.
Every successful business will go bankrupt here or there. It just happens. Then you got Elon. Look how close he came to bankruptcy. He almost lost Tesla completely.
I got 2 words for you, Steve. Government bailout. Remember GM?
Yeah.
Ford? Well, no.
Oh, yeah. They all got bailed out. And then Obama shut down a lot of the Chevy GM dealerships. Quit using the name Chevrolet. It's now Government Motors. Then they forced Chrysler and Dodge into Mercedes. Then they ended up robbing them of a lot of money that they had set aside for pensions. Pretty sad stuff.
Right. It is. And that's there is some successful, but also Trump helped out. Here's the thing. He helped out with the banks of, all right, since I did go in here, this place is, I could get you this much out of it. You're not going to get all of it, but I can get you this much out of it.
Yeah.
He's doing the same thing with the country right now. And it's freaking everybody out, because also, I don't think we mentioned on here, Steve, the Doge was, who started that? Just like the kids in cages, who started that?
Oh, yeah. That actually, Doge was an office that was a department started by President Obama. Yeah. Well, guess what? Trump just basically used that and changed it to Doge and just kind of gave it an overwrite. This is what it's doing now. See, he's smart. And, these little judges are still trying to stop them. These judges are screwing us, the American people. We want this stuff cleaned up. We want our money back. We want it to be back in Social Security, Medicare. We want it to be back in the coffers of the Treasury.
I want to be able to drive straight on all of our roads instead of, pothole. Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
that's a big Grand Canyon. Man, I could have lost a tire in that one.
Yeah. And that's another thing out here, too. I mean,
Is
all
there
this
not-
stuff is corrupt.
They're
It's
not
just,
helping you, Steve. I mean, they're not going to pay for for you. They're not going to pay for your tie rods to get, redone because.
I've had to rebuild so many front ends for living in Colorado. I feel sorry for people that can't do it themselves. I'm serious.
Then that's when you go to the cheapest mechanic you can, because that's all you can afford. And then little Haji over there, bubble gum and a little little wire, tin wire
Yeah.
together, and there you
Or
go.
they
Good job.
put a tie rod in on your car, and it's a $14 tie rod in, and they charge you $85 for it, and then another 2 hours to put it on, and then it fails within 8,000 miles because it's a cheap piece of Chinese crap.
They went on eBay and bought it, or Amazon.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. Comes to car parts, I'll buy very few things from Amazon anymore. I actually go through Rock Auto because most of their stuff has been pretty darn nice. But Amazon, I've had some failures because the stuff is so cheap.
And even at the UPS store, you had to go through a bunch of stuff and go buy another package for it. That's why I said I was jumping through a bunch of hoops. And I had that problem before. I bought Summit or Jags. I bought a alternator in 2010, 9, something like that. No, it had, well, 10, anyways. And I had to keep returning it because I think I got a Chrome one or something like that, and I had to keep returning it because it wouldn't
Oh.
charge.
The Chrome ones, there's something when you get those custom looking ones.
Yeah.
They don't. I've never had any hold up that well.
I don't know if it was Chrome or
Percentage.
not, but it was
They
special.
well, they always had issues. When they're pretty, they have issues.
Yeah. So I wouldn't buy one
But
both.
anyways, though,